Hello, my name is Chris Burt, and I'm a sound designer for video games. And I just want to show off a cool little plugin that I've found. It took a long time to find something like this actually. It's designed by this guy, abletondrummer.com. You should go check it out. He's got a bunch of Max for Live devices. The one I'm going to show off today is the Note to Map Random, and he's been working on one that has basically 10 notes to map, or yeah, 10 different instances of the same device. So I'm just going to drop it on a MIDI track here. And I'm just going to show you the base functionality of it, and then I'll show you how I would use it creatively to do sound design stuff. So you just drop it on MIDI track. It only works on MIDI tracks, but I can show you how it can work on audio tracks as well at the end of the video. All these checkboxes here to instantiate it. You've got 10 instances of it in the app or in the application, so you got lots of different things to play with here. This button right here is to kind of MIDI learn it. So you hit that, and then whatever MIDI device you're using, a keyboard or a controller or anything, you can hit your key, and then it'll map to that parameter. You've got percentages for ranges for ins and outs of a parameter. So if I want to map to this echo knob here, 0% would be all the way down, 100% would be all the way up, and that works for any parameter basically. And then to map it, really easy, hit map, hit the parameter you want to map, and then it jumps up there and it shows you the output of what your MIDI trigger is going to randomize to right here. So that's how it works. I'm going to show you an example of how I'd use this creatively to sound design some stuff. So what I've got going on for my bass example here, I've got a bunch of samplers that I've stacked on each other. They're actually S-Layer, the S-Layer Ensemble from Reaktor. And in here, I've got 3 of these instances stacked on here with different kind of gooey stuff, like sci-fi gooey stuff that I'm going to just smash together and randomize, and it'll create some kind of cool textures for me. And then with the 10 notes to map random, I'm going to randomize a bunch of post-processing on that later. So for my bass sampler stuff, what they're doing, this is what they sound like. Oh. Here we go. So that's the 3 samplers stacked on each other doing some randomized stuff on them. And then I'm going to add all my post-processing, and then here's where I'm going to randomize all my parameters in my post-processing here, and it's going to make stuff a lot more cooler and crazier. So I'm basically using all 10 of my mappable functions here for different parameters in an EQ, in a delay, and a chorus, basically. So you'll see like all these knobs when I enter my MIDI trigger, all these stuff just randomly jumping around based on these ranges, and these will be the outputs for them, and you'll see my knobs jumping around here. So this is like an excellent tool that I'm using for creative sound design. I used to use the Max for Live LFO for randomizing parameters, but I didn't have a lot of control because I was just at the whim of what the LFO was doing in the time, so I didn't have actual control. This gives me a lot more control over parameters where I can set ranges, and I could even set like different keys if I wanted to randomize different parameters at different times. It's really cool. So I'll just do like another A-B, turning this thing off without the randomization. So that's me not randomizing all these post-processing parameters here, and then this is randomizing them all. And also, I'll show you how you can use this on audio tracks. Like say if you want to, I just put an echo on here. If I want to randomize parameters based on MIDI input, I just have to make a dummy MIDI track and then throw the plugin on it. And then say I want to map it to my C1. I can actually just map this, jump to an audio track, and then hit the parameter I want to map. And then the randomization will actually see that on a different track, and then I can randomize that. So hitting my MIDI input, you can see the parameter jumping around. I'll just play some audio and jump around with the randomization. So that's pretty cool. You can actually affect things that aren't on MIDI tracks on audio tracks as well. And just to show this thing isn't eating up a ton of your CPU, the thing that's eating up the CPU is my samplers, because I've got a bunch of them stacked on each other, and they're all granular samples, so they're eating up a lot of space. I'll turn all this stuff off. Bass with nothing going on. I'm at like what 7% here. Turning this thing off, it uses almost no CPU. So it's like very efficient, and it gives you like full control of randomization of like whatever you want to do. It's super cool, very powerful. All right, see you later.